Hello, dearest listeners, and welcome to the show that is wondering if possession is just the ghost equivalent of house squatting. And if so, does that mean you can lease yourself to the undead? Then further wondering if ghosts view mediums as a short-term rental, like a motel room or a timeshare. Welcome back to the show that will probably never answer these questions. Welcome back to the Witching Hour Frequency.
On the topic of temporary rentals, a new one has opened up on Airbnb. It's like Airbnb, but people rent out haunted, cursed, or otherwise paranormal properties for the weekend. It's a little weird, considering that basically everywhere you go has had at least one person die on the property, but it's their money. Anyways, the property is the house of the infamous Baba Yaga. One of its major selling points is that it comes to you on its chicken legs. It's not a mobile home.
Why would you want a house that travels to you? It was my understanding that the whole point of these services was for you to stay there as a vacation of sorts. Humans continue to defy any sense of logic and reasoning.
People are broke and traveling costs a lot of money. That could be better spent on other things. We live in an age where entertainment is readily available at home, food delivery is as easy as forming a pact with the minor deities, and we have AI that manage our whole lives and are probably plotting to take over the town.
Soon.
What?
Your ramen delivery order will arrive soon.
Oh, perfect. I swear the food rates on Beelzebub have gone up exponentially. It costs a whole pint of blood plus service fees. I guess it's to ensure more stable pay for the delivery people, which is great, but still rough on the wallet. I worry about breaking our budget constantly ordering out.
Our food budget has actually been at an all-time high as of late. Since our need to repair massive holes in the walls from the destructive behaviors of has gone down substantially. We can actually afford the expensive substance that your fragile meat suits require.
First of all, don't you shame my meat suit. Second, on that thought, where is
Calling.
Hello there, lads. I am live in the field interviewing some of the people that have interacted with Baba Yaga. I'm slowly tracking down the location of her house by following the trail of people doing odd chores for magic boons.
Oh, how weirdly responsible of you.
Wait for it.
I heard she's done a lot of weird magic junk. She's been known to make weird objects fly, and I was hoping for a flying chair or something to shorten my commute. I went dumpster diving, but all I could find was a bidet, and, it's close enough. It's moist, but also helps with the resale value on my cave.
Oh, can you get me a mortar and pestle like the one she flies around in? I want it for my enchanted kitchen. I already acquired the endless tankard of Utgard Loki and spoon of Midas. I want to expand out.
Sure, does anyone else need anything? I know one guy got a flying lawnmower and it just kind of took off. He's down a pretty hefty amount of money, but it was really fun to watch.
Just call us back when you find her. I'm curious as to what she has to say.
I will do my best, but fair warning, I expect this to take a while. For a giant moving house, it's actually pretty elusive. I'll let you know if anything turns up.
Your order has arrived, but the delivery driver is having trouble finding the door. Hope he finds it before something finds him. He's changed direction and passed it 3 times already. I almost feel bad for him.
I'll go meet him at the door. King, can you recount the tale of the legendary Witch of the Woods to our listeners? I hope the gyoza hasn't gotten cold yet. It's never the same after reheating it in the microwave.
Try reheating it in a pan. It'll come out almost like when it was freshly cooked. Now, over to King with more details.
Baba Yaga is perhaps the most famous of the Slavic witches, maybe even the most famous of all creatures in the folklore of the region. She is certainly a witch, but not in the Salem sense, and definitely not in the modern sense. She is far older than either, and far more dangerous. Her power is truly her own, no higher beings granting her magic or mystical artifacts. There may be some limits to her powers, but no such limit has ever been discovered. Like many ancient beings, her motives are largely unknown. She has been known to grant both boons and curses upon those she comes across. She seems to have an affinity for young women, and those that are dutiful and respectful to her will be rewarded for their behavior. Meanwhile, those that try to cheat her are faced with horrible consequences. One such person has her bones kept in a box that is said to still be in Baba Yaga's house to this day. On the topic of her house, it is a small shack that spins in the air until the secret command phrase is spoken. From the outside, its far more known trait is that it has massive chicken legs that will allow it to move from place to place. When at rest, there is a fence that surrounds the building, made from the bones of the people she has eaten. Should you manage to actually enter her house, you would quickly be met with her tall figure. She is said to tower over any typical person with an emaciated frame. She has a long nose made of iron, her flesh seemingly growing over it. Her teeth are hollowly rotten, but still capable of tearing through flesh. Her hair is long and gray, hanging almost to the floor. She will speak to you sternly, asking you what you want. She will grant you what you wish, but you must earn it.
We are receiving a call from...
Cut over to our sponsor.
This week's broadcast is brought to you by the local library down Geneva Lane. Looking for that one reference? A recipe to appease your in-laws? Or perhaps a law to defend yourself during your next court hearing? The local library, spelled with a K, down Geneva Lane has everything in terms of reference, research, and other things we cannot discuss, as they're restricted to the back rooms and only for staff and local, spelled with a C, officials, spelled with a K. Thank you to the local library down Geneva Lane for sponsoring us this week.
Welcome back, dearest listeners. We currently have on the line with an update on Baba Yaga.
So apparently, a strangely large number of people actually rented out the house and were forced to do very odd chores for the witch. Those that were able to complete all the tasks were granted boons of all varieties. Those that failed were either eaten or had cruel and unusual punishments executed against them. One guy had the top half of his body turned the opposite ways, so he bumps into things constantly. A woman apparently was rather rude to Baba Yaga and now coughs up small fish every time she tries to speak. It was difficult to get her testimony. I found the house and she had enchanted my bidet. It now flies around but is also constantly turned on. Anyways, I also managed to collect the mortar and pestle.
Oh, wonderful! It will look amazing next to my herb rack.
Is that all? No tragic backstory or strange origins?
Nope, she just likes to fuck with people.
I can respect that.
Well, I guess not all stories have clear beginnings and ends. Sometimes a crazy Slavic witch is just that. I suppose the lesson in all of this is that sometimes, in the pursuit of deeper meaning and random magical trash, we overlook the simplest of answers. Occam's razor is a sharp blade, and one to consider at all times. Good night, dearest listeners. Sleep well, knowing that, while we do know many things, there are many questions we will die never knowing. Sleep well with the thought that the deeper horrors that exist just beyond the scope of your understanding will never be known to you.